All right, y'all, we got another body cam video, man. We got friendly cop has no idea police already matched her DNA after 23 years. What did you do? It's only one thing that I feel like I could, connect you to where they had to use your DNA, and that is the big M word. The big red M word. That's the only thing that I could freaking think that they had to use your DNA for. Anything else is like, I don't know. I think it has to do with like the big M word or some shit. But correct me if I'm wrong, we shall find out. You already know what to do. Let's get into it.
I'm like in shock. I'm totally in shock.
This is Stephanie Lazarus, an LAPD detective, 25 years on the job.
Damn.
Right now, she's being
Hold on. If you was on the job 25 years, then that means 2 years in, you did whatever you did. You did whatever you did 2 years in.
About a case from over 20 years ago, where her ex-boyfriend's wife was killed. She's the one who killed her.
I told you. I told you. I told you. I literally just said that. Oh shit, my bad.
Dozens of suspects in herself, hearing her own rights read back to her. What you're about to watch is how two detectives got a fellow detective to walk herself into that moment using nothing but a conversation.
I mean, we had a fight, so I went and killed her. I mean, come on.
All footage is real and
24th,
obtained from whatever.
1996, Van Nuys, California. John Rutan leaves for work around 7:20 that morning. His wife of 3 months, Sherry Rasmussen, 29, a hospital nursing director, is still deciding whether she feels well enough to go in. By midday, a neighbor notices her garage door standing open with no car inside. John calls home, gets no answer, calls her office. Her secretary hasn't seen her either. He calls again and again. Nobody picks up.
Girl, did you steal the car? Did you steal the car too?
Machine that's supposed to catch calls when the house is empty was never turned on. When John gets home that morning, there's broken glass along the driveway and the garage is still open. Sherry's silver BMW is gone. Inside, he finds her on the living room floor. Barefoot, cold, no pulse. Police arrive at a scene that looks on the surface exactly like a burglary that went wrong. The house is disturbed. A stereo system has been taken. Sherry Rasmussen is dead, shot 3 times, with evidence of a vicious hand-to-hand struggle before the gunfire. Her left forearm has a distinct semicircular wound, a human bite mark driven deep.
You bit her? Wait, let me get this straight. So you try to make it look like a robbery, but y'all was fighting and you bit her. Because what other reason would you bite her?
Into the skin, made by a person who bit her during that fight with enough force to leave an impression in flesh. Detectives swab the wound. They take the sample. They do everything that 1986 crime scene processing can offer. And then the case goes cold. For 23 years.
1986 or 19... Didn't they say 1996? Yeah, they said 19...
Van Nuys, California. John Rutan leaves for...
Because now you're saying 1986.
Rasmussen is dead, shot 3 times, with evidence of a vicious hand-to-hand struggle before the gunfire. Her left forearm has a distinct semicircular wound, a human bite mark driven deep into the skin, made by a person who bit her during that fight with enough force to leave an impression in flesh. Detectives swab the wound. They take the sample. They do everything that 1986 crime scene processing can offer. And then the case goes cold. For 23 years, no one is arrested. John Rutan remarries. Sherry's family never stops asking what happened. The bite mark swab sits preserved in the evidence archive. And somewhere inside the Los Angeles Police Department, one detective carries on with her career. In 2009,
Not your coworkers supposed to know you watching the video.
a cold case detective finally runs that old bite mark DNA against a national database. The result doesn't point to a burglar, it points to a cop. Her
Damn.
name is Stephanie Lazarus, and she has no idea what is waiting for her in that room. What makes this case unlike almost anything else on record is what happens next, because detectives make a decision. They're not going to call Stephanie in and tell her she's a suspect. They're going to call her in and pretend they barely know what they're asking and see what a 26-year detective does when she doesn't realize the room is already closed around her.
I don't want to bring this up in your squadron.
You want to do that?
Oh, no, it's fine. I think
I
we're
just
good.
have a quarter to do this journal. You're going to bring somebody in, right?
Yeah, well, I can explain the whole thing
That's
to you.
fine.
I don't want to talk about this in the squadron because
that's okay.
I don't know who people are listening.
That's true,
And if we go to my side, everybody's
Yeah.
always wondering what everybody else
yeah,
is
sure,
doing.
no problem.
Okay. But like we're talking about being busy and stuff, we've been assigned a case that we've been looking at.
Okay.
It's a new case, and reviewing the case, there's some notes to see as far as your name being mentioned.
Okay.
Do you know John Rutan?
John Bruton. John Rutten?
Rutan.
Oh, yeah, I went to school with him.
You did?
Yeah.
How long did you know him?
Gosh, I went to school in, let's see, went to UCLA in 1978 I started, and, met him.
So you're not
at
gonna mention you
school,
dated him?
Dorms.
Mm-hmm. Were you guys friends, close friends?
Yeah, we're very close friends.
Yeah.
I mean, what's this all about?
Well, it's regarding, it's a case we're working on, and it involves John, and in there, some of the statements we reviewed, there's notes and stuff that he knew you and stuff.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we good friends, lived in the dorms I lived in the dorms for 2 years.
You guys lived in the same dorm?
Yeah.
Or, okay.
Yeah, Dykstra.
Okay. Were you guys just friends or anything else, or?
Yeah, we were good friends.
Yeah. Was there ever any relationship or anything that developed between you guys?
Yeah, I mean, we dated.
Uh-huh. Well, let me ask you. You said you dated John. How long did you guys date?
I mean, well, are you guys, is this something, I mean, you said I was going to interview you about art, and how you guys are,
Here's
I mean,
Stephanie, here's the situation. It's basically, we knew that this, when we saw this in this chrono, that maybe, there was some relationship there. That's what the chrono seemed to indicate, and we didn't want to come up to you at your desk and ask those kinds of questions or do anything. You know how up there people can see what's going on if you go into an interview room or people are in there getting
that's
supplies.
okay. I mean,
so we wanted to afford you some privacy, some confidentiality
Okay.
to talk about this, because we thought it might be, something, you're married to someone else, obviously, and so forth, and that you may not want to, talk about these things in that setting where someone, we don't want the rumor mill or gossip or any of that kind of stuff
I
to
mean,
start.
that's fine. I mean,
So we did this just as a means to try and speak to you in just
Okay, I
a
mean,
confidential place where where your business isn't out there for other people in
well, I mean,
your division to know
I
about.
mean, God, that's been a million years ago. I mean, what year is it now? 2009.
She nervous as
and
hell.
I graduated in 82. 82, yeah. We dated. I dated other guys. I'm sure he dated other girls.
Well, let me ask you, roughly how long would you say you guys dated?
Oh, jeez. I couldn't even say. I mean, I started school there in 78. I started
Girl, how
school
long
in
y'all date?
1978. I graduated in 82. I don't even remember what year he graduated, if it was a year or two before me.
Okay.
I think he was a little bit older than I was. I mean, I can't remember if he was born, let's say I'm born in 1960. I don't know if he was born in 58 or 59. I mean, I knew his parents, I knew his sister, his brother went to Northridge. His sister had spent the night at my house before. Obviously, I spent the night at his house before. He probably spent the night at my house before. you know, I don't.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, because from what you're telling me, is you guys dated while you were in college together, right?
Yeah, and probably after college. I can't. Geez, trying to think when I met my husband. I met my husband in. When did I meet Scott? Let's see.
It's honey's probably, and probably after college.
In Oregon, but we had long stopped, dating before that.
So you haven't talked to him for a long time?
Oh, I think I haven't talked to him in a long time. I couldn't even tell you when the last time I talked to him. I met Scott, I'm thinking in 92 maybe, April of 92.
So you don't remember when you met your husband? You don't remember when you met your husband? Play, damn it.
Scott being your husband.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I was teaching DARE. Let's see, what year is this? We'll be married. I got married in 1996. I think I met Scott in 92. Prior to that, I couldn't tell you how long I had talked to John prior to that.
But since you met your husband, Scott, you hadn't talked to him?
I mean, he may have called me once or twice before we got married.
Right.
Geez, I moved to Simi in 1994 because I lost my house in the earthquake.
Oh, really?
Quite honestly, I probably keep in contact with a few people from the dorms. We all lived on the 10th floor,
Stephanie and John had a long, tangled history going back to the UCLA, on and off for years. Casual enough that neither one called the other a partner, serious enough that it didn't fully end when John met Sherry. In the summer of 1985, months before Sherry is killed, Stephanie is working alongside another LAPD officer, Anita. Stephanie tells her about a boyfriend, a real relationship, she says. Ortega has no reason to doubt it.
Stephanie shared with me that she met her boyfriend, John, at UCLA. Said he was a great guy. I never met him, but I thought they were going to get married.
Not only was Lazarus not dating John in the summer of 1985, he was engaged to Sherry Rasmussen.
Nobody connects this to anything at the time. It's just a colleague's story about her personal life.
Do you remember the first name?
Shelley, Sherry, I don't know, something maybe, like I said, it's been so many years, and
from all the years, as far as you can remember, do you remember ever talking to her?
Well, I said earlier, I mean, I may have, I may have talked to her.
You mentioned a hospital,
right.
maybe.
You know that woman name.
Talked to her at a hospital.
Yeah, I may have. I'm thinking back now. You guys are bringing up all these old memories.
No, it kind of dusts off the cuff.
I mean, geez. I'm thinking that because we would date. He would date other people. I would date other people, and I think at one point, he may have been dating her, or I don't know, maybe he was married, I don't even remember. And I'm like, why are you calling me if you're either dating her or living with her or married to her? Because I honestly don't remember the time frame. And I'm like, come on, knock it off. And now I'm thinking I may have gone to her and say, hey, you know what, is he dating you? He's bothering me. And so I'm thinking that we had a conversation about that.
What was this conversation?
It could have been 3. I don't want to say I had 3 conversations with her.
Like at her work or at their house or? No,
I'm thinking that he obviously must have told me where she worked. I'm thinking it was a hospital somewhere in LA, and I could have been. Again, what year was that? Where was I working? I'm trying to think of where. When did you say they got married?
I don't know. I think it was like in 85 or 86 or something like that.
Where was I working?
We just kind of picked this up. We don't know a lot about it.
I could have been working in Hollywood, it sounds like, if that's where I was working. So I could have said, okay, well, and I went and talked to her, and just said, hey, you know what? you know, if he's dating you, he's keeps calling me. Why don't you tell him to knock it off or whatever? And you know, because I probably would have told him to knock it off.
You would have told John.
Oh yeah. I mean, I would have said, hey, you know, and again.
But you wanted to tell her too. You wanted them both to know.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you're getting her called, and I'm faintly remembering when Scott moved in with me in 1993, sometime in '93, because I met Scott in April of '92. I was teaching DARE up in Oregon, and he moved down. In fact, he may have moved down in '92. 92 or 93, there was the big earthquake. No, when was the big earthquake? No, 94.
94, yeah.
So I think Scott might have moved in 93, sometime in 93. Excuse me.
Digging further into that history, investigators found exactly how Stephanie learned about Sherry in the first place, at a birthday party she'd thrown for John herself. After the engagement, she and John reportedly slept together again. After that, Sherry's friends describe a pattern. Stephanie showing up at the condo asking John to wax a pair of water skis. Stephanie appearing at Sherry's workplace in full uniform while John wasn't there. And according to a direct witness, Stephanie cornering Sherry and telling her plainly that if she couldn't have John, nobody would. None of that is in the room yet, but almost 30 minutes into this conversation, without being shown a single witness statement, Stephanie brings up a version of it herself.
I mean, you're not sure if you ever been to the house because...
But it's safe to say that would have been the only time, like for something social?
Yeah, if I went there for something social, yeah. Okay. I mean...
Because I know you went to talk to her at the hospital regarding this issue with John, to, you know, kind of like, hey, you know, what's going to happen here with this thing? But would this ever have followed up to her house when you went to talk to her to say, hey, you know what?
I don't even know that I knew where they lived. You know, that's what I'm saying. I don't. If I knew where they lived and I'd been there, if it was for something social, I would. And I can't see how many times I saw her face to face. You know, he lived on Roscoe. Did I ever see her there? I don't know. I mean, I may have seen her at his apartment on Roscoe.
Ma'am, I don't even know. I don't even know. Chat, I don't even know.
I may have met her there. You know, I mean...
But you didn't have any issues with her, right?
No, I mean, you know, obviously, if he was dating me and dating her, I probably said, hey, pick or something, you know.
Fair.
You know, back
That's
then. I can't say that we ever screamed or, yeah, you know, it's, I mean, he was a pretty mellow guy, you know, I think I was pretty mellow. I don't think we had some big, huge blow up to say, you know, why we stopped dating or, you know, and I even think that when I was dating him, I was probably, like I said, I was probably going out with other guys and he was probably going out with other girls.
Right.
You know, I don't know.
I mean, would you remember if she snapped on you and just like, hey man, it's my man, you know, you get it, leave him alone, you know, blah, 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 that kind of stuff?
You know...
And would you remember an incident like that? I mean, because that would be like, what?
Well, you know, and maybe that happened. I mean, gosh, you know.
This is talking about maybe that happened. Girl, if you got into it with somebody, you remember getting into it with somebody. I don't think that's something like, I feel like if you got in a fight with somebody, if you got into it with somebody, you gonna remember that shit. Of course you're not gonna tell them that. You know what I'm saying? But honey,
it's been so long ago. I mean, that's not ringing a bell. One was on the crew team, so we all did stuff together. And then I'd say after we all graduated, we went to weddings. You know, I went to weddings.
But Sherry wasn't part of this circle.
No, I don't even know how he met her. I don't even know where. I mean, I don't know where he met her from. I don't even know. He told me where he met her from. I mean, he may have told me. You know, that's not ringing a bell. And there was lots, I mean, there's just, there was other people that knew other people, that were friends of everybody's, I mean, I don't know what else to tell you.
Well, one of the concerns I had is looking at some of the notes is some of Sherry's friends said that you and her were having a problem because of the John situation.
I don't know who her friends are, because again, I don't recall if he did tell me where he met her. I don't.
That's
know
not
who
what
these
they
friends
said,
are.
Bookie.
A problem. Like I said, if I spoke to her, I mean, I'll go on as far as a limb, and I don't even want to say I spoke to her 5 times because that's probably not even.
She ain't been saying shit, but I don't know. That don't ring a bell. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he may have told me. I mean, I don't. That's all it's been.
True. I can't even remember. Again, did I meet him at a place when he lived on Roscoe for I think quite a while, but I couldn't tell you how long he lived on Roscoe. And the only reason I remember the place now is because it's like a huge dope place now where they, it may have been back then, but maybe we didn't know back then. I could have met her there. I could have, I don't even know that I met any of their friends. I can't say that. I don't know that that's a true statement.
Well, that's what I'm reading is that you guys have problems with each other and words are being exchanged and it's all relating to John.
You know what? I can't say.
You can't say?
No, that doesn't even ring a bell.
So, it seemed like, you would recall something if somebody's going off on you, right?
I would think. I would think.
Yeah, because it's...
But that's,
Ma'am, all of this I don't know is telling on you. All of this I don't know, I don't recall, I don't. You remember your college boyfriend. You remember who you was dating when you graduated college. You remember these things. You remember these things. So all of this, exactly. And if y'all had words, if y'all used to get into little arguments, you gonna remember that. You gonna remember the relationship because of that. So all of this, I don't know, I can't recall, I don't know, it's not ringing a bell. You're literally telling on yourself. You might as well just tell the truth.
Because it seems like your relationship with John was kind of, you've known each other for a lot of years.
Yeah, it was just kind of, it was like...
But it doesn't seem to me, from what you're telling me...
we were never engaged. It wasn't like we were planning to get married. It was like... It was...
And if y'all was just screwing around, then I'm sure you remember that too. I'm sure you remember that. You remember that. Hell. I'm sure that people remember they screw buddies. I'm trying not to cuss, so I'm just saying screw buddies. I'm like, come on now.
I don't know how to describe it.
Would you say there wasn't a lot of drama in this relationship?
Oh, no, I don't think there was drama.
Okay.
Yeah,
so that's why I'm asking, as far as what the friends are saying in regards to this, the problems that they're saying you were having with Sherry. It seems like the relationship is just going on an even plane.
That just, I don't have the recollection of that at all.
No?
No.
And because from what you're telling me is when you guys met at the hospital.
3 different ways of being asked the same question. 3 versions of the same non-answer. Not, that didn't happen, just, she can't say.
Drugs or something.
She can't remember.
I think I faintly remember him mentioning something maybe about cocaine.
That she was involved with that?
I don't know that he said she was involved or they thought she was. Again, it's been so long. He could have told me the whole story of what happened. And, like I said, I'm faintly remember either between him or the flyer, that there was some kind of a burglary, you know.
Let me ask you, did the detectives ever reach out to you?
No, no one's ever talked to me. I don't think anybody ever talked to me about him.
It seems like back then
you know,
would have been
well, I'm thinking that I did talk to a detective. God. Well, what division was it?
In Van Nuys?
And where was I working?
That's how you pronounce that? Van Nuys?
1986?
I would have been working in Devonshire. You know, I'm thinking that I did speak to somebody.
Oh, really?
I couldn't tell you who it was.
Because it doesn't
It was
say
probably
anything.
on the phone.
Okay.
Would have been somebody in regards to this, or just?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even know if you said a name, if I would remember it, because I worked Van Nuys for a while.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I worked.
Detectives, patrol?
No, I worked detectives. When did I go to Van Nuys? I worked Devonshire till '88. Then I went to Dare till '92. I worked twice at Van Nuys.
Both as a detective?
Yeah. Sometime in the '90s. Yeah, I know before I busted my leg up, I was there in '98, because that year sticks out because I had a really bad leg injury. And I was there prior to that, but I couldn't tell you what year. It was just a few years. I made detective, I think, in '93.
Man, what's going on in the background? All them sirens and stuff.
'93. So I was at Van Nuys, and then I went back, and then I had a leg injury, and then they transferred me to Devonshire because I couldn't drive. I couldn't drive very far with my bad leg injury. So, but yeah, I think I talked to somebody.
Would you remember any of the conversation as far as what they were looking for? Or?
Couldn't say. I mean, they may have told me. I said, hey, you know, I went to school with him.
Nothing in this case
Not coming
ever
for her ass.
substantiates that. No
You done made me snort.
toxicology, no witness, nothing beyond that one person in the room with a reason to want Sherry's character in question. A little over a half hour into this interview, the conversation drifts somewhere that sounds almost unrelated. Cars, break-ins, things gone missing. It isn't unrelated at all.
Let me ask, when you were seeing John, would you, I take it he would pick you up in his car, you go in her, your car, things of that nature, when you guys would go out?
Yeah, I mean.
Do you remember what he drove?
Well, I know at one time he drove either a 240 or 260Z.
Any other cars that stand out in your mind?
It's the laughing and the facial expressions.
I don't know how long he drove that 240 or 260Z for. And the only reason I say that is because I think I may have a picture of it with him in it.
What kind of car
Not
did
you
you
still
have
got a
back
picture.
then?
Let's see. What year?
Or are you like one of those young cops that's like, oh, I got a paycheck and bought a new car?
Oh, no. I've only had like a few cars in my whole life.
So what'd you have when you came on the job?
Okay, well, my first car was a 68 Chevelle. 68 Chevelle. And then I had a Toyota.
Not she was in the back seat.
Some kind of a Toyota. Hatchback, but I forget what the name of it was.
Like a Corolla or Tercel or something like that?
Tercel.
Yeah.
And then I had my truck.
Did you ever have any problems with your cars?
Like what?
Just anything in general, car wrecks, anything stolen.
Yeah. No, my car's never been stolen. Oh, no, crashed, hit and run. Hit and I mean, my Tercel was hitting around.
Right.
Like, I got pictures. Of
How
them
you
hitting
don't remember when you
runs,
met your husband?
Yeah, I don't think any of my cars had ever been stolen. No. My cars haven't been stolen. Broken into.
None of that, huh?
Oh yeah, my cars have been broken into. You know, but no cars have ever been stolen.
How long? Well, tell me about this car getting broken into.
Well, my car has been broken into several times.
Oh, really? Did you ever lose anything, or?
Yeah. Now that you mention it, let's see. I had a gun that was stolen. I had other stuff that was stolen.
Not your duty gun, was it?
No.
That's good. Was it ever recovered?
I don't know. No, I don't think so. Not that I know of.
Never been notified?
No. Car's been broken into, yeah, several times.
Where did that happen? When your gun was taken?
Trying to remember. I'm sure you guys must know. Because my car was broken into in Ventura. I think in Santa Monica. I have relatives that live in Santa Monica and Venice.
Who lives there?
My uncle. Well, I had several uncles. Yeah, could have been Santa Monica, Venice. My car's been broken into in Ventura before. So.
Is your mom still around, or? Yeah. Your dad?
Yeah, but I don't really have much of a relationship with my dad.
Yeah.
So I couldn't tell you where he lives if you want to know.
Oh, really?
No. Yeah, couldn't tell you.
Well,
He like, oh really?
Like I said, as we were looking at the case, and we had read the notes as far as from Sherry's friend saying you guys had problems or words, and they got heated. And the reason we're asking you is they had mentioned that an incident at her work had occurred, and they've also told us that an incident at her house occurred.
You know what?
And this is at her house during the period of time that they're married.
That's just not sounding familiar at all. I mean, you know what? That's just not sound. Again, if someone says that I was at her house and I had an incident with her, that just doesn't sound.
Girl.
Was John there? Did John say this happened? Because, and other people were there. I don't recall. I mean, it just doesn't sound, familiar.
And this is an incident where you showed up. You weren't supposed to show up. And things got heated.
At his house?
She finna sit here. I don't recall. I don't recall. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember. You remember what kind of car he was driving, but you don't know when the hell you met your damn husband. You are silently telling on yourself, ma'am. You are telling on yourself without telling on yourself. Right. Appreciate that. Man.
That just doesn't sound familiar. I mean, no. It's not sounding familiar.
So
it's not sounding.
Now you're saying not familiar because it's just.
So nothing about your life sounds familiar. You just don't remember shit that happened in your life. Now I know sometimes we have shit happen in life and we seriously don't remember the shit. You know what I'm saying? But you don't remember nothing? But you remember the car he was driving? I can understand forgetting some of your work history because I done forgot my work history before. I done filled out a goddamn resume and Stacey be like, oh, what about what you call it? I be like, oh damn, I did work there. But nothing? What is your name? Don't know how she got another day, but remember where she was working. Right.
Remember, or
Well,
just...
you know what? I'd have to say I don't remember, because I don't remember. That doesn't sound familiar.
I mean, would you remember something like that in your life?
Well, I would think, but
sort of drama involving, the other woman type of thing.
Did you ever fight with her?
Long before this conversation ever happened, detectives had already...
You're a cop. You're trained to remember shit. That's part of your job, is to remember shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like working in the medical field. You have to remember shit. It's just some shit you have... Like, it's natural to forget some shit, but you don't just forget every goddamn thing.
Pulled her old property records and found something worth building a whole line of questioning around. The gun she's describing is a Smith & Wesson Model 49, a 38
Not grab her by the collar.
property records and found something worth building a whole line of questioning around. The gun she's describing is a Smith & Wesson Model 49, a 38 caliber revolver, the same caliber that killed Sherry Rasmussen. And when investigators checked the date on Stephanie's theft report, it wasn't years before the murder. It wasn't years after. She filed the theft report 13 days after Sherry was killed.
Oh,
Nobody
shit,
ever
girl.
connected those two documents until now.
Did you ever fight with her?
you mean like we fought?
Yeah. Did you ever duke it out with her?
No, I don't think so. I mean,
You'd remember that,
I don't
right?
think so. I don't think so. You was better off just saying no. You said no, I don't think so. I feel like if you have a fight in your life, you're gonna remember that. And if you don't remember the exact fight because you blacked out or whatever, you at least remember the moment leading up to it, I feel like.
Pretty
yeah, I would think so. I
Pretty
mean,
specific,
yeah, like I said, I mean,
dramatic.
obviously, it just doesn't sound familiar. I mean, what are they saying? So I fought with her. So now I'm getting the jump, the leap. Excuse me, I haven't eaten. They're saying, okay, I fought with her, so I must have killed her. I mean, come on.
They didn't say that. That is not what they said. They just asked you, did you fight? Did y'all have a fight? Appreciate that, Jack. Welcome to the chat. All they said was, have y'all fought? She said, what they said, we fought and I killed her? You just told on yourself. You just told on yourself because nobody said you killed her. Nobody said anything about you killing her.
I mean, that's, I don't even know who these people are. I can't even say I met any of these people. I mean, it's insane. If it happened, I honestly don't remember it. That's all I can tell you.
But I don't know. Would it be something you would remember? Because I don't know if any other intense incidents in your life that have occurred, you'd recall those, right?
Well,
like a use of force at work or a car crash, something you're involved in, you'd be like, yeah, I remember.
You would think I would remember. I would think if it was something that crazy. I can't say. You say how many fights?
I
have you
wouldn't
gotten
say it's a
into,
body cam video
in your life. A few at work.
But this lady is a cop and she has been connected to a murder 23 years later.
Well, fights at work are kind of different because we've all had uses of force or whatever. But
I haven't even had even a lot of those.
Right, but if you're actually,
I played.
Like if Dan and I got
Thank
mad
you
at
for
each other
telling
and
us
we
what.
In your life. A few at work.
Well, fights at work are kind of different because we've all had uses of force or whatever. But
I haven't even had even a lot of those.
Right, but if you're actually,
I played.
Like if Dan and I got mad at each other and we threw blows in the squad room, 20 years later, I would remember it.
I would think I would remember it, but that's what I'm saying. That's not sounding familiar to me at all.
Oh yeah.
Let me ask you. Throughout your life, would you remember the number of fights you've been involved in? And I don't mean kind of like a bump or something, just a physical fight where everybody's hitting each other, scratching, pulling, whatever.
Maybe. I can't say I've been in a lot.
girl.
I played sports.
Yeah.
You know, you get into scuffles there, and
and you recall some of those, right? I mean, just
yeah, I can recall some of them.
Games get intense.
But like I said, you saying this is just not ringing a bell. You know, if you're doing this as an interrogation, you're saying, hey, I'm a suspect. Well, now I got a problem with, you know, now you're accusing me of this. Is that what you're saying?
They didn't say that. They didn't say
We're
that.
trying to figure out what happened, Stephanie.
Well, I'm just saying. You know, do I need to get a lawyer if you're accusing me of this? You know,
you don't have to. I mean, you know, you're here of your own free will. I mean,
no. I know, but
I mean, you're not under arrest. You can walk out.
You can leave whenever you like.
Well, but, you know, I'm trying to give you some background of, you know, how I knew him, and now you're telling me that somebody's saying that we had this big old fight, and I don't even know what you're talking about. You know, and I don't want to, you know, get in trouble for something that I didn't even do, or you're saying I did something.
Okay.
They didn't say you did anything. They just asked you a couple questions. Nobody said you killed her. Nobody said you killed her. Nobody said that you got into a fight with her and killed her. Nobody accused you of anything. They just asked you some questions that you didn't have to answer. Let's throw that out there. You didn't have to answer.
Even do, or you're saying I did something.
Okay.
They didn't say you did anything.
I mean, how would you guys like it if the tables were turned on you?
Facts. Very dumb.
No, that's what we're telling you. I mean, you're free to go whenever you want. If this makes you uncomfortable and you want to,
now you're starting to make me uncomfortable.
She's spent 25 years on the other side of rooms exactly like this one. What she doesn't know is how close this case had already come to her once before. In 2005, a cold case analyst named Jennifer Francis went looking for that old bite mark swab and found it missing. She eventually tracked it to a coroner's freezer, still usable after nearly 20 years. Even then, colleagues didn't think it was reason enough to reopen the file. It took 4 more years before a different set of detectives refused to accept that same answer. This is the reframe that keeps her in the chair, and it's worth naming as a technique because it's doing exactly what it's designed to do.
And the burglary thing you're talking about, that is an angle that they looked at. I go, but now we're looking at everything else on the case because nobody was ever arrested on the case.
I don't know that or not.
Okay. Now, what we'd like to do is, obviously you know about all the DNA stuff and things of the nature that, you know, gets done on cases nowadays. You know, if we asked you for a DNA swab, would you be willing to give us one?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Now I'm thinking I probably need to talk to a lawyer.
Okay.
I mean,
well,
because I know how this stuff works. Okay, don't get me wrong. You're right. I have been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
And I wish I had been recording this because now it sounds like, you know, you're selling these people say I'm fighting with her, and now it sounds like you're trying to, you know, I've been doing this a long time.
Yeah, we know.
Okay. And now it almost sounds like you're trying to pin something on me.
No,
now I got that sense.
Well, what it gets to on these cases, and you know it as well as I do, our job is to identify and eliminate suspects.
I can't believe this.
So if we ask you to the point to give us a DNA sample, a buccal swab, so we can identify or eliminate you, would you be willing to do that?
Maybe.
Well,
because I know this.
Well, that's where we're at too. I mean, because right now, from looking at the evidence, it's possible we may have some DNA at the location.
That's great.
And we're going to do what we can to try to put this thing together. And your name's in the book. These people are pointing at you for whatever reason.
I don't know why. That's just crazy. I mean, that's absolutely crazy.
The detectives have already done the thing they're pretending to ask permission for. Weeks earlier, the surveillance team followed her and waited for her to throw something away. A cup, a straw, and ran it for DNA without her ever knowing. It came back a match to the bite mark on Sherry's left forearm and to skin cells recovered from underneath her broken fingernails. The swab they're asking for now isn't evidence. It's a formality for a case that's already been solved in every way except the one that matters to her in this room. The conversation appears to end normally. The kind of exit that looks exactly like every other courtesy interview she's probably sat in on herself.
And I guess I'm going to have to contact somebody. So
that's fair.
I mean, because I know how this stuff works.
Sure.
I mean, I just can't believe it.
I mean, we understand that. I mean, if we were in your position, I mean, we would feel the same way.
I just can't even believe it. I mean, it's just, I mean, I'm shocked. I'm really shocked that somebody would be saying that I did this. I mean, we had a fight, and so I went and killed her. I mean, come on.
Well,
that's...
Okay.
Told on yourself again.
Well, thanks for giving me the courtesy. I wish I could record it.
Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Stephanie, take care.
All right.
That's the version of this scene where she walks out the door. It's not what happens. Less than 2 minutes of tape later, the tone in this room is completely different.
This is absolutely crazy.
Have a seat, Stephanie.
This is insane.
Okay.
Wait, she came back in? Well, they didn't let her leave. They probably didn't let her leave.
Give me 1 second. Okay. Stephanie, you know you have the right to remain silent. Do you understand?
Yes.
Anything you say may be used against you in court. Do you understand?
Yes.
You have the right to the presence of an attorney before and during any questioning. Do you understand?
Yes.
If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you free of charge before any questioning if you want. Do you understand?
Yes.
Do you want to talk to us right now?
No.
All right. Okay.
This is crazy. This is absolutely... I'm like in shock. I'm totally in shock.
Stephanie gets up and walks out of that interview room on her own. In the hallway, with the recorder still running, her own fellow officers are waiting. She's placed under arrest before she makes it out of the building. And when she's brought back into the same room minutes later, it's in handcuffs.
The law, and it's unclear which side of it the suspect in this case is on. She was a 26-year veteran of the Los Angeles Police Department. By all appearances, a model cop, yet Stephanie Lazarus now faces murder charges. Prosecutors say that almost 25 years ago, she beat and shot the wife of an ex-boyfriend, and that DNA evidence proves it.
Going back to the scene itself, almost nothing about it actually held up as a burglary once someone looked closely. A jewelry box sat untouched in plain view. No other...
How you gonna make something look like a damn burglary and you don't fuck... How you gonna make something look like a burglary and you don't burglarize the place? You just messed up a couple things. And Lord Jesus. She threw some stuff around. Some stuff was missing, I believe they said.
Room had been touched at all. A VCR and CD in plain view. No other room had been touched at all. A VCR and CD player were stacked neatly by the door, except Sherry's blood was already on top of them, meaning the violence came first and the staging came after. A sliding glass door upstairs had been...
You stacked the VCR neatly? You didn't throw it in the floor? Make it look like somebody ripped... Girl, you ain't even try.
Shot out from outside, but Sherry was killed downstairs. Whoever fired through that window didn't run afterward. They went inside and finished it. Ligature marks on her wrists and a cord at the scene showed she'd been restrained at some point too. A former FBI profiler who testified at trial put it simply. This wasn't a robbery. It was an attempt to build one. This case never went to trial cleanly. Stephanie's defense spent 5 weeks trying to cast doubt on the DNA analysis itself, arguing the sample was too old, too degraded, too easily contaminated after 2 decades in storage to be trusted. It's also worth knowing what happened 3 years after the murder. Long before any of this, John and Stephanie briefly got back together on a trip to Hawaii, and before he...
Let me make sure I heard that correctly. Let me make sure I heard this shit correctly.
It's also worth knowing what happened 3 years after the murder. Long
3
before
years
any
after.
of this, John and Stephanie briefly got back together on a trip to Hawaii.
You killed this man's wife and then you got back with him 3 years later? You killed his wife and then you got back with him 3 years later.
Before he went, John actually called Detective Mayo to ask if there was anything tying her to his wife's death. Mayo told him there wasn't. A search of Stephanie's home turned up a journal describing how despondent she'd been over losing John.
His gut told him that she did that shit.
John and Stephanie briefly got back together on a trip to Hawaii, and before he went, John actually called Detective Mayo to ask if there was anything tying her to his wife's death. Mayo.
His gut told him she did that shit. His gut told him she did that shit.
Told him there wasn't. A search of Stephanie's home turned up a journal describing how despondent she'd been over losing John.
In Lazarus's journal, she wrote things such as, "I saw John Rutten's car. I put a note on it and watched the car for half an hour. I did visit John Rutten, but his girlfriend was over.
I really didn't feel like working. Too stressed out about John. I have a real hard time concentrating these days."
23 years between that obsession and the night it caught up with Sherry, and the FBI
Girl.
profiler's read on it lines up exactly with what prosecutors argued at trial. She let herself in, struck Sherry with a ceramic vase, fired one shot, then used a thick piece of fabric to muffle the two that followed, recovered later with a burn hole and gunshot residue still on it. Trace evidence from Sherry's body went missing from police files over the years. So did the original interviews with John and Sherry's father. Nobody's ever fully explained why. The county's own DNA
Right, just writing everything in a damn journal.
and gunshot residue still on it. Trace evidence from Sherry's body went missing from police files over the years. So did the original interviews with John and Sherry's father. Nobody's ever fully explained why. The county's own DNA put it plainly afterward. Without the DNA, this case likely never gets solved.
We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Stephanie Eileen Lazarus, guilty of the crime of murder of Sherry Rasmussen in violation of Penal Code Section 187 felony.
In March 2012, that jury needed less than a day to convict Stephanie Lazarus of first-degree murder. She was 52. She was sentenced to 27 years to life, eligible for parole in 2034, the year she turned 74. In
She's still alive?
2023, at the parole hearing, she finally admitted to killing Sherry Rasmussen while telling the
Like, not you wrote the food. Oh, Lord Jesus.
board she hadn't gone to that condo planning to do it. Even then, by her own account, what weighed on her wasn't really about Sherry. It was that Sherry's death happened because Sherry had met and married John. Parole decisions on her case have gone back and forth since, and as of the most recent public reporting, she remains in custody at the California Institution for Women in Corona. The gun was never recovered, and the DNA that finally caught her had been sitting in an evidence file the entire time she worked 2 floors above the people who would eventually find it. So what stands out to you most about this case?
Damn, girl.
Is it that a trained detective couldn't even remember her victim's name 23 years later? Or that it took a bite mark and not a badge to finally tell the truth about her? Let us know what you think in the comments.
Honey, she remembered that woman's name. You can't convince me that she didn't. She remembered her name. I feel like she remembered her name. Oh yeah, she knew. She knew. The minute they asked her that man's name, about did she know him, and they said his name, she knew. She knew exactly what that was about. It ain't never that deep, y'all. It ain't never that fucking deep, bro. I don't understand the struggle with letting people go. It be hard. I know it do. It be hard. You be in your feelings. You don't want to see him with nobody else. It be hard. But to kill a motherfucker is crazy, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. This was crazy.